Hello guys, in this video we'll have a look at PHP if-else statement and how it works. So if-else statements, what they are used for? They are used for understanding if something is true, then we run some code, else we can execute something else, for example on the screen. And let's have a look how it works in real life. So let's write syntax for if-else statement, and to do this we simply write if, then we put brackets, and then we put curly brackets, and let's start by writing simply if statement, okay? And this is syntax for if statement, because you can write if statement, and if you want you can write else statement as well. So as there is if else if statement, which we'll talk about in a second, but let's start with if statement, and like I said, you can write only if statement if you want to. And this if statement, it starts with if, and then it has these brackets, opening bracket and closing bracket. And the thing about these brackets is that whatever you will put in those brackets, whenever it will return true, it will run that code which will be written by us between this opening curly bracket and this closing curly bracket. For example, if we will write that 2 is greater than 5, okay, and then we would want to echo something on the screen, like echo, and let's echo string, and let's say this is true. Okay, this is true. This means that if statement, it checks what is written in these opening and closing brackets, and if that what is there is true, it means that if 2 is greater than 5, and we understand that 2 is not greater than 5 because 2 is less than 5, right? So this code in these curly brackets, it will not be executed on the screen. So let's save this and let's preview it in browser, refresh, and you see that nothing is getting displayed on the screen. And this is because 2 is not greater than 5, okay? But if we will write, for example, that 2 is less than 5, okay, and in this case this whatever is in these brackets after if, it is true. So like I mentioned you before, like all programming is based on true and false, and in this particular if statement we are simply in these brackets. You have to understand that in these brackets which come after if these brackets, whatever will be in those brackets, if it will return true, then this code which is in these curly brackets, this opening and this closing bracket, whatever code we will write there, it will be running, it will be executing, okay? And in this case we have written that 2 is less than 5, and that is true. So this is true, should be executed on the screen. So let's save it, let's go back to our browser, refresh, and you see this is true, is executed on the screen. So this is simple logic how if statements work. And if you would want to add else statement, so we write again else after the closing if curly bracket, if block curly bracket, and then we open again and close again curly brackets. We can open and close them straight away here, straight after else, or we could put that bracket after here. So like I mentioned you before, that space doesn't really matter, but I'm usually writing it straight after else. So but if and else is used only at the end of if statement. For example, if we would have if else if statement, which we will have a look in a second, then else is basically executing anyway if statement's first block will not run. That means if this will return false, like 2 is greater than 5, okay, now 2 is greater than 5, so 2 is not greater than 5, and this will return false, which means that everything what is between this opening curly bracket and this curly bracket, it will not be executed, that code will not be executed. But if we would want to execute something or run some code anyway, even if it is not true, we can write it in the else block. So let's copy and paste it here. This is false, okay? But note that both codes will never run, only one will run. So let's save this, and you see that 2 is not greater, that 2 is 2, it says 2 is greater than 5 and 2 is not greater than 5. This means that everything between these brackets will return false, so this block, first one, will not run, and will run that what is after in else block, because else will run if statements block won't run. So let's refresh this page, and we see this is false, is getting executed on the screen. And then we have if else if. And to write if else if, we say, for example, we could create variables. We could write kind of small script like, let's create variable, and we could say day. And in this day we will save some string value, for example Monday, okay? And we could now kind of write some code, and if we could say if day is equal to, and to write equal to we use two equal signs, because as you remember from previous videos, if we use one equal sign, then we are assigning, we are storing something in that variable. But if we put two equal signs, then we are comparing this value to whatever value is on the other side. So on the other side I will write Tuesday, okay? String value Tuesday, okay? And now we are comparing if day, which is Monday, is the same as Tuesday. So it's not the same. So that means that this block of code, which is in first opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket, it will not be executed, but this else block will be executed. So echo, this is false. Like, let's save. Let's go preview, refresh, and we see this is false, is getting returned on the screen, right? And now we can write a if else if, and then we can use these else if blocks after if block if we want, how many times we want. And here we could compare it again. For example, day is equal to, and equal, as you remember, to, for equal we use two equal signs. And then we would say Wednesday. So now we are comparing if day is Wednesday, and we will echo this is Wednesday. And now if we will say what will happen, we are comparing if day, which is Monday, okay, is Tuesday. So if Monday is Tuesday, no, it's not Tuesday, that means that this code will not run. Then we are saying else if, and now we are checking again if day, which is Monday, is Wednesday, okay? And it is not Wednesday because it is Monday, and this means that this code won't run as well. So if we go back, we refresh, we see that nothing gets displayed on the screen. But like I mentioned before, we can use as many these else if blocks as we want. So I will copy one more, and I will put here one more else if block. As you see, now we have one block, then we have here, just make space so you can see this block better. So you see that here we have our if block, then we have else if, and its code is in between these. Then we have another else if block, which is here, and here we will say Monday, okay, Monday, and it will say. And now we're saying if Monday is Monday, and we can write out yes, it is Monday, yes, it is Monday, okay? Let's save it. Let's go back now to our browser, refresh, and you see yes, it is Monday is getting displayed on the screen. And it is getting displayed on the screen because whatever is in these brackets, in these simple brackets after else if, it returns true. So if main thing what to understand in if statement and if else statement is whatever is in these brackets, if it returns true, this means that this block will run. But if it returns false, this block won't run. And you have to understand one more thing, that if you are writing if statement. Whenever first right condition will be met, for example, if we would now say here day is not Wednesday, but let's say Monday, then whenever first correct condition will be met, then that block of code will be run. Like this code will be run now, because we are saying here that else if day is Monday, and whenever that block of code will run, it will leave this if else if statement at all, and will continue with next code if we will have any code after. But it will not look at it will not even access this second yes it is Monday. This will now, and by that said, now we are saying day is Tuesday. We are comparing if day is Tuesday, we echo this is true. So day is not Tuesday, this code first will not run. Then we are saying else if day is Monday, okay, and day is Monday. This means that this code will run, and it will continue with whatever code is after this closing bracket. It won't even come to this second one, okay. And now you will see that on the screen will be displayed this is Wednesday, because it will reach this first code, because code is read from top to bottom, okay. And whenever it will reach first correct condition, it will execute the code block after that condition, and will leave if else if statement at all, and will continue with whatever code. So now on the screen will be displayed this is Wednesday. So let's save it, and let's go to our browser, refresh, and you see this is Wednesday is getting displayed on the screen, okay. And this is how if statement works. And at the end we can always, and only at the end, we can add else block if none of those conditions is correct. For example, we could, Ctrl Z, I just copy this and add something again, Control copy, and in else block I will add nothing is correct, okay. And now we will remove from this Monday from Z to Y, and let's remove Y from this Monday. So this day is Tuesday is not correct, else if day is Monday or Mond A is not correct, and this day Monday is not correct, so that code will not run, and else block will be executed in this scenario. You see echo nothing is correct will be displayed on the screen. Let's save it, let's go back to our browser, and nothing is correct is displayed on the screen. So this is if else statement, and you can use else if you want. If you don't want, don't use it, and you can use as many else ifs as you want in your if statements, okay. So you can write only if statement if you want. And one more thing I wanted to show you, let's delete everything after this if statement, and here we could use and we could not use. If we would want to use only one if statement, okay, one and only one statement, we could simply escape these curly brackets, but never do this in your code, because then your code is less readable, and this applies only to if you are using one if statement. Then after that statement, whatever is displayed, if it is true, it will be running, that code will be running. So we say Monday is Tuesday, so it's not Tuesday, so you will see that this is true will not be displayed on the screen, because this condition is incorrect. Let's save it, let's go back to browser, refresh, and you see nothing is displayed on the screen. But if we will put instead of Tuesday Monday now, Monday, okay, I'm just telling you this so you know this. And now this condition is true, whatever is in between these brackets, okay. This means that this is true will be displayed on the screen, okay. Refresh, and you see this is true is displayed on the screen. But note, never do this. You always use these curly brackets, opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. after if statements and if else statements, so your code is readable. And like I said, you can add these curly brackets as you want. You can add them like this. This is another style how some programmers work. They use blocks like these. They put else, and then they put, for example, here another opening curly bracket, and then they see their code. So this would be one code, or this could be Elseif block, for example, okay, and then that would be code for that, and for else it would be like this. So make sure that your code is readable. Just get your style how you see it, and only use one style of coding. So this is another way how you could write these blocks, so you see these blocks where they are. Okay guys, this is pretty much else if statement, and like I mentioned, you can use only if, or you can use if else only, or you can use if and as many else if blocks as you want, and else at the end, or optionally else if you want block in your codes. But when we start working with it, now for now you can just play around, try to get some understanding, but when we will start writing some scripts and we will start doing in next video, you will start understanding how this all works. So for now, just understand them and don't try to memorize anything here, because in programming main thing is not to memorize, main thing is understanding in programming. Okay guys, if you enjoyed this video and if you found it useful, subscribe to my channel, like this video and share this video, and see you in next video.